What's up, guys? I got this TikTok video I thought was interesting, so I wanted to react to it. I'm gonna do a playthrough and then break it down. So let's get started.
Is society doing so great?
Oh, shit.
You're gonna expire before the age of 25. By the age of 35, literally no man's gonna want you. Let's talk about why this is the biggest load of BS. So my mutual Cecilia Regina, who I'm tagging below, they're doing a series this week on how when it comes to the wealthiest men in the world, older women are the prize. And I'd just like to add some more examples to this conversation. So one of the examples that Cecilia gave was Jeff Bezos, who's arguably the wealthiest man in the world. And his current fiance, Lauren Sanchez, who's 53. Dr. Moyo, who was 50 when she married her billionaire husband. Melody Hobson, who was 44 when she married her billionaire husband, George Lucas. So far, what do we have in common? Intelligence, drive, and success. I'd also like to add Amal Clooney, who was 36 years old when she married actor George Clooney. Serena Williams was 36 when she married her Reddit co-founder and billionaire husband, Alexis Ohanian. Now, if we're talking about the highest echelons of society, you want to get down to royalty? No further than Princess Angela of Liechtenstein. She literally married Prince Maximilian of Liechtenstein when she was 41 years old. 41 people! And she did not give birth to Prince Alphonse until she was 42 years old. She met Prince Maximilian at a party because she was in the right circles. She was a highly accomplished fashion designer, she went to Parsons, and she was in the right rooms. And even more famously, we have Meghan Markle, who was 36 when she married Prince Harry, and didn't have Prince Archie until she was 37. When it comes to success, a lot of these people didn't meet until their mid-30s at the earliest, once they started to reap the benefits of their years of work. All these women are highly accomplished, intelligent women who stand on their own. So when society is saying that women expire at a certain age, ask yourself, does society have it together? Is society doing so great?
All right, let's break down this women.
You're gonna expire before the age of 25. By the age of 35, literally no man's gonna want you. Let's
dig in deeper, right? Yes, men do say that, oh, you're going to expire or all this stuff at whatever age. But when you're digging deeper, there's a bigger meaning to that, right? It's, again, men are not explaining it well enough or, really dissecting it enough. You got to think that I would say, I've always said this in many of my other videos, okay? It don't matter if a woman is fat, skinny, ugly, pretty, poor, or rich. That definitely don't matter. Or whatever. There will always be a man or men that will want to sleep with you, that will want to be your boyfriend, that would even want to marry you. There will always be men out there that will want to. The issue is, okay, will you have men that you want? Okay? Will you be able to attract the men that you want? Will you be able to retain the men that you want? Not just men that want you. Because, like I said, women of all whatever will always have men that will want them. Always. That's a fact that I've learned. That women always have options. It just depends on what options do you have now. And that's the thing where men say this, right? Having the best bargaining chip, your youth and your beauty. That's pretty much what women have as their bargaining chip. So when you're at your prime, around 20, in your 20s, your prime years, okay, where you can bargain, right, your maximum level of fertility, your maximum level of beauty, right, and of course your youth. You have those bargaining chips to potentially attract and potentially keep the men or man that you want. That's the point. That's the issue that women don't seem to understand. Okay? Men say that is that it's about the men that you want. Okay? Again, nothing's impossible. Yeah. There's women that will find the man that she wants in her 30s, in her 40s, in her 50s, whatever. Good luck, right? If you want, this is the thing, you want to play, right, with your life, do it. But this is the thing where a lot of women are kind of ridiculous, that they're so calculated, so determined, and I don't know, laser focused when it comes to their education and career. They don't want to just leave it up to fate, right? You're essentially, when you say that, okay, I'll wait until I meet the man of my dreams later on in life. You're leaving things up to fate. And yet, when it comes to your education, your career, you put your time and effort into that. You give your youth to your career and your education. That doesn't make sense. That those, you will put that effort in. You will put your youth and your effort into those. Your time, your education, and your career. When it comes to a man, you're leaving it up to fate. And see, that's the delusion. And then when you're in your later in your age, later in your years, then you complain that I can't find the man. I can't find a man. No, you can't find a man that you want anymore, because the man that you want most likely don't want you. And that's the thing where men essentially saying you're expired, because it's an example where women are complaining about not finding a man. Well, why? Because you expire, because the men that you want don't want you.
Why this is the biggest load of BS. So my mutual Cecilia Regina, who I'm tagging below, they're doing a series this week on how when it comes to the wealthiest men in the world, older women are the prize. And
again, it's really ridiculous, right? In the US alone, men that make over 100K, or you know what? People, men and women, all the gays and all this other groups, right? Just people, and regardless, right? That make over 100K is about 15% of the US population. And I think I'm highballing it. I think it's lower, but I'm giving it a bit of leeway. But 15% is nothing compared to the amount that the huge amount, the rest of the population that don't make that money. So really, you want to compare your life to the wealthy is ridiculous. And women do this a lot. They live through celebrities. That's the delusion, right? You're living your life through celebrities. You're taking your advice. You're shaping your life and your ideas through the works of celebrities and the rich. It's ridiculous.
I'd just like to add some more examples to this conversation. So one of the examples that Cecilia gave was Jeff Bezos, who's arguably the wealthiest man in the world. And his current fiance, Lauren Sanchez, who's 53. Dr. Moyo, who was 50 when she married her billionaire husband. Melody Hobson, who was 44 when she married her billionaire husband, George Lucas. So far, what do we have in common? Intelligence, drive, and success.
No one says Jeff Bezos' girl is intelligent or anything like that. But this is funny, right? Throughout this whole thing, she mentions women's age. She don't mention the men's. A good deal of them, at least the majority of them, not all of them, right? But the majority of them are significantly, or at least a good deal, older than the females, than the women that they marry or dating. They are older, at least 5, 10 years, some even 20 years. So essentially, your argument is mute, because these men who are much older are still dating younger. That's the thing. Okay, because they're not in their 20s. Now they're dating older women. How, you don't understand how, look at Leo DiCaprio, which is the opposite of the crap she's talking about. How people are attacking him, chastising him for dating women in their 20s. They are attacking him. They are like piranhas, right? Constantly insulting the man for dating women in their 20s. So imagine these men that are in their 60s. I think Leo's like 50 or something, right? 50, maybe late 40s. I don't know, but in his 50, I'm guessing, but still dating someone younger. So imagine these men who are in their 60s and above dating women in their 20s as well. They will all be attacked, be chastised, be looked at with a side eye. So this is a thing where, and you can also think, right? Although these men are rich, it don't necessarily mean they can attract any kind of woman, right? I've seen it. Women, even in their 20s, will turn down ugly, ugly men that even they're rich. So that don't mean the same thing. Even I bet you, even Jeff Bezos is not necessarily attracting 20-year-olds unless he's like putting piles of cash in front of them to attract them, and then it's like, that's kind of a distaste, right? So, a man in his 60s, right, in his 60s, 50s, dating a woman in her 40s and 30s. So, again, he's still dating younger, right? And it wasn't that hard for him to pull her, right, to attract her. As in, it probably been harder and more money consuming if he was trying to attract a woman in her 20s. Okay? These men are again not attractive, even though their tax bracket is immensely high. So that's the thing what women don't understand. Yes, these men are wealthy. Don't change the type of man you are. These men are probably not the most charming. They're definitely not the most attractive. Okay, George Clooney, yeah, but I mean, the woman he's dating is in her 30s, and the woman is attractive. Yeah, and I think George Clooney has dated models in her 20s too. So it's like, okay, he's dating younger, but still he's still dating younger. I mean, it's like you make it seem like they're dating women their own age. That's necessarily right. When men say you're dating older, okay, because it's comparative. They're still dating younger women. They're not dating older women, i.e., women their own age. Okay? Yes, it gets, like I said, for most men, they can see that, okay, they can be attracted to younger women or women in their 20s. But it's harder to pull women in their 20s because they have the most options. This is the thing where you don't understand. Women in their 20s have just as much options, right, as options of partners as billionaires, as millionaires. That's something you don't understand. That's something you won't even see. So, if they are so wide with options, although you're a millionaire or whatever, they will still be picky about it. Okay? Because yes, if you as a millionaire or a billionaire want them, well, who's to say that there's not a more attractive, millionaire that would want them? That's the thing you don't understand. Again, this is the delusion of women, where they are spreading this weird propaganda that it don't make sense. And it's not helpful. It's actually very dangerous because you're trying to give hope when you should more make it reality. Give them a reality check. Things are not impossible, but it's improbable or it's very hard. Okay? You don't understand. So yes, let's not ignore it. If this woman, right, she wants to, let's give an example. Maybe she's in her 20s. Okay. She's at her prime beauty. But let's say she waits until her 30s to find a man. Will she have an easier time finding a man her own age? Probably not. But will she have a easier time finding a man who's 20 years older than her? Probably. Because he's getting a younger woman, regardless of she's not in her 20s anymore. So, I mean, it's like you're not changing the narrative, really. Men are still dating younger. These men a good deal of these men that she gave an example, they're still dating younger women. Not a young woman, but they're still dating younger. So that's the thing where you're not under. See, this is why she glazes over men's age, but try to put a focus to women's age because they're in their 30s, they're in their 40s. So great, but these women, like I'm constantly repeating, still dating older men. They're not dating men their own age.
Yes. I'd also like to add Amal Clooney, who was 36 years old when she married actor George Clooney.
Yeah, 30. She's 36. I think I just saw it. Like he was in his 60s, almost double. Almost doubled her age, right? So, whoop-de-doo. I mean, again, George Clooney has dated younger women. Now, I'll give you like right. This is the thing, right? Sometimes men. I think I was gonna say it before. Yes, maturity in women is nice, especially men that have been, like i.e. like George Clooney, single or unmarried for a good deal of his, of his life. You know, so okay, great. He wants a woman that's, a bit more mature or, have a different sense of work. Again, let me say this, right? These women are not representative of women or majority of women in general. They're not. Again, these women are who they are. They look what they look like. They are at the position that they had, the experience they had. It's just, that's the thing, right? These women don't make these women your role models, because then it will only hurt you. Because you think that, okay, when I'm 36, when I'm 40, I can still get my millionaire husband. Okay. Good luck on that.
Serena Williams was 36 when she married her Reddit co-founder and billionaire husband, Alexis Ohanian. Now, if we're talking about the highest echelons of society, you want to get down to royalty? No further than Princess Angela of Liechtenstein. She literally married Prince Maximilian of Liechtenstein when she was 41 years old. 41, people! And she did not give birth to Prince Alphonse until she was 42 years old. She met...
That's the thing I want to say, right? We should not understanding. This is the thing where women seem to glaze over. You are putting your health at risk. Women are putting their health at risk for having children later on in life. No one says it's impossible to have children later on in life. What they say is that it is risky to do so because your body may not handle it. And I've been there. I've seen it. Okay? And this is the thing where doctors, professionals say don't do it because it is dangerous to you as a woman. And now she, this delusional woman, is promoting, hey, you can hold off and have children in your 40s. It is not going to be the same case for every woman. The majority of women will have a hard time. Not saying all women, but the majority of women will have hard complications. You're taking your life into your own hands. In the past, when, medicine wasn't as advanced as it is now, women have died during childbirth. And even now, as advanced as it is, women lose blood, they get sick, you get a multitude of complications happen when you give birth. Okay? So, to make it more risky, and I'm not saying women can have complications even when they're younger. Okay? So imagine you're waiting when your body is not as in its prime. Okay? Not as in its prime, not as strong as it used to be. And you are taking on that risk, which is now heightened. So this is the danger that women are pushing. And then you make it seem like it's gonna happen like that. No. The whole process, right? Failed marriages, failed pregnancies or miscarriages, all this stuff. It will affect a woman's psyche. Okay? Men know that. So men don't want women to go through it. But obviously this young woman don't care about a woman's psyche, right? They don't care about a woman's mental health. Because, hey, you're 40s, you're late 40s, you're late 30s, go ahead. You can still have kids. It's not gonna be no issue. But when it does, it's not like she's there for them, right? It's the man who hopefully, right, you married and loves you. He's gonna have to be there for you and see you suffering through it. And like again, I've been there and I've done that. It is not good.
Prince Maximilian at a party because she was in the right circles. She was a highly accomplished fashion designer. She went.
And this is the thing, right? She just said in the right circles. Not every woman is going to be surrounded by the high value men of society. Not every woman is going to be surrounded by even the cream of the crop of men. So really, your propaganda doesn't apply to most women. It don't. So really, great, you're putting these millionaires or princes or whatever, these high value men up. That don't mean that situation will happen for other women. Okay? The majority of men usually would date younger. The majority of men, right? Let's say even I'm again, I don't have examples, right? I don't have a whole list of examples, but I also believe the majority of high value men, right? Men of a certain tax bracket will still date younger and most likely will date women in their 20s, right? Let's say it's funny that she don't put a man that's in his 30s or maybe in his 40s. I'm pretty sure that man is dating a woman in her 20s. She's not putting, again, she's putting men or these men, relatively older men. Okay? And again, she's not advocating, she's not advocating to date older men. She's just saying that, older women are still valuable. Yeah, to old men. Because they still find these women young. That's the thing. Where like this is her delusional propaganda that really, when you dissect it, don't make sense. And this is the thing where women are not challenged on the things they say.
To Parsons, and she was in the right rooms. And even more famously, we have Meghan Markle, who was 36 when she married Prince Harry, and didn't have Prince Archie until she was 37. When it comes to success, a lot of these people didn't meet until their mid-30s at the earliest, once they started to reap the benefits of their...
Yes, the women were in the mid-30s. These men were in their later years, in their 50s, some in their 60s. Maybe even in their 40s. I haven't checked all the ages of these men, but again, these are the things where you glaze over. Give ages for both, right? You want to, because again, you want to make a propaganda piece, showing off these women's ages, but there's nothing to compare it to.
Years of work. All these women are highly accomplished, intelligent women who stand on their own. So when society is saying...
Really? I mean, maybe besides the prince, the royalty, these men of royalty, I don't even know if you ever heard any of these women. Besides Serena Williams, right? I don't know if you ever heard of any of these other women, if not for them marrying the men that they married. So, I guess.
That women expire at a certain age. Ask yourself, does society have it together? This is
the thing, right? Again, like I said, saying expire is harsh. But this is the thing where you want to again, this is maybe men trying to be helpful when they should just let women just suffer in their own decisions. But this is where men is like trying to light a fire on under a woman's butt, essentially. Where, yes, you can find a man whatever age, but will you find the man that you want? That's the key. Will you keep the man that you want. That is the key. That is the key. So unless you think that you're attracted to like these other women will be attracted to these kind of type of men, I mean, besides for a couple of these men, like maybe Prince Henry or the Reddit guy, all these other guys are relatively below or average looking men. Okay, if it's not for their wealth, they wouldn't have gotten anything, if that. So, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But like I said, it's more to light a fire under a woman's butt, to like use the best thing you got, your prime attractiveness, your prime youth, right? Your prime fertility, as a bargaining chip, as a meter or whatever, to attract and retain the best man you can. When you wait for later years, you are taking away options. Okay? You're taking away chances to actually attract and especially retain the man, I don't know, of your dreams, or the man that you like the most. That's the thing. Or seem women don't understand. But I don't know. What do you guys think?